we're going to set up an integration now in Wavefront to pull the metrics that Prometheus has been scraping from our weather API application and pull all of that data into Tanzu Observability. Now, what we'll do then is scroll down to the monitoring tools section. Okay, I'm in the integrations tab of Tanzu Observability, and we're just going to go find Prometheus, click on the tile, and this provides us a set of instructions on how to do this, and it's very easy to do. Okay, so we'll scroll down to the use case of making data in Prometheus available in Wavefront. All right, perfect. That's exactly what we want. So you can see here that even VMware has not updated the language here, so it's still Wavefront, Tanzu Observability, operations for applications. It is whatever you want to call it. All right, so what we're going to do is install the Wavefront proxy and then configure a storage adapter. And here are the instructions here. So we're going to, they provide us a link to download a Wavefront YAML file. Okay, so we can look at that here, and this will be in our script as well. And this is where we're going to set our Wavefront URL and our token that we'll fetch from AWS Secrets Manager. And then it also gives us this YAML file to set up the storage adapter. And we saw this in the architecture diagram in our last video. So if I go back over to that, we'll look at that one more time. And in our ARIA operations repository, this section right here. So we've done this piece already. Okay, we've set up the Prometheus service to scrape the metrics from our weather API, and that is stored in this volume here. Okay, and so we're going to set up a Wavefront proxy and the storage adapter to pull that data into Wavefront. Okay, and those are Kubernetes deployment resources. So let's go ahead. Let's go into the script here and begin. So I'm in the TOS, Tanzu Observability Service folder, and we're going to execute the tap.NET Weather Prometheus integration. So what we'll do is we'll do these one by one here. Okay, so we're just going to set some variables. Then we're going to go ahead and get the URL and token for Wavefront. And then set our context once again to run AKS. Now, here is the Wavefront proxy deployment that was provided for us. So I just went ahead, opened that link, and copied that YAML into this script. So we're going to apply it all in one shot. And you'll see there our Wavefront URL and token that we fetched from Secrets Manager. Okay, that was created. And then the next thing, the next deployment is the Prometheus storage adapter. So we'll copy that. Great. Now, the next thing that we have to do is edit this config map. Now, let's just go back over to the instruction here. So what it's telling us is to integrate the storage adapter with Prometheus, add these two lines to the end of the Prometheus YAML file. Now, the Prometheus YAML file is, in our case, going to be in the configuration map. All right, so we've got that in our script. So let's go ahead and edit this config map. copy this section, and we have to make sure that we add it to this Prometheus YAML file. That's what the instructions are saying here. So what we want, I don't know if do I need to add this to the end of the file? I'm going to try and just put it here because this section here is huge. So let's see if we can get away with doing it like this. Now, what we probably have to do is delete and rebuild the Prometheus server pod just to make sure that it picks up that configuration. The instructions didn't say that, but nevertheless, that's what we had to do in the last video. So that will take just a few moments to create. All right, so we now have the Prometheus server restarted here within the last minute. So what we should be able to do then is go back here to the portal. Let's go over to our app. We'll hit randomize a few times here. And again, what we're sending to Prometheus is the temps below 0 and temps above 100 degrees. So I see a few already above 100. Okay, it took me like 20 times to finally get a temperature below 0, and it's hot. Go figure. I got a few at 0 exactly. Okay, now I got another one below 0. Good. Okay, enough of that. Let's go over now to our metrics page. Browse and hit the metrics page. So we should see now, in addition to minimum random forecast and maximum random forecast, we should see the addition of these two. Well, right here we have something new we didn't see before, so maybe it's in here, tap.net weather API. So we've got temps below 0, and there certainly weren't that many of them in our run of it just now. Yeah, so right there, and there's 50. Now, you know what I think is happening? This is interesting. I'd have to investigate this, but what I think is happening is that all of the data that was there that we collected previously to setting up this integration, and I would even argue previously to setting up the Prometheus service, that those metrics were stored somewhere, somehow with the weather API, so that even when we set up the Prometheus server and started scraping metrics, it was scraping metrics that we had gathered from previous randomized functions when we were just testing the minimum random and the maximum random. But I can't confirm that for sure. But the point is here, you can see that we're collecting data, okay, right around the time that we did this. Okay, so this should show our temps. Oh, it took us all the way back. Okay, so now we're going to open up temps above 100. Oh, okay, so it's actually opening up a new tab for everyone here. So yeah, we've got 421 temperatures above 100. Okay, so whether it's how it's doing this isn't really that important for our purposes. We just wanted to see that we can set up a Prometheus server to scrape metrics from our weather API and then bring those same metrics data, import those into Wavefront, as you can see, That's exactly what we're doing here. Now, again, if I didn't mention it in a previous video, this might be a use case for an organization that's seeking to move to Tanzu Observability, and they're using Prometheus now or another monitoring tool. You can integrate those and leave your application code as is, and then when you see fit to begin sending metrics to Wavefront exclusively and you're ready to retire whatever service you were using, this would be the perfect solution. So this will be the last video in our Tanzu Observability series. So thank you so much for sticking with me again, and we'll see you in the next video.